just to finish, I understand that both Dr. Juan Clos and Professor Viriat Suruman Marx would like to give a last address, although Dr. Clos is really rushing to the airport. So I would give you the first opportunity. Okay, so, and you close, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Just, I think, 2 minutes to clarify a point of apparent disagreement between me and Juan Clos, because I think that we are in deep agreement. Because my position regarding cities and urban as entities, government entities, is not a divided model. So I never intended in my presentation, probably it was the problem of compressing time, to present a kind of alternative model. So the governments are not working, so we should put mayors ruling the countries. That's not the case. And
in some places works.
Yeah,
I know of one country at least that it works.
Yeah, okay. I think that we need to have complementary approaches, and looking to issues, I think that on the one hand, it's fundamental to establish compulsory cooperation networks with national governments. I gave you 2 examples of that. The ACOS Treaty is a worldwide proposal for that, and the European Union, the Eurozone crisis, I think there is no future for cities if we are not able to promote a real European scale. So European federalism, to use the correct technical word. But on the other hand, as was very clear in the Juan Clos presentation, we see cities growing over expectation, and we may find some elements that are really changing. First one, if you look to the American budget, public budget, I mean the budget of federal government, states governments, and local governments, we have the most important part of the cake is the federal government. But immediately after that is local governments. So cities, municipalities, they have more public money than states. This is something new. It's a new pattern that started 5, 6 years ago. Okay, this is very important. Secondly, in the Rio Summit, the Agenda 21 was not able to overcome national resistance, and who took the flag were local governments. And the same with the climate change during the George W. Bush presidency. So some states and also many cities engaged in climate change adaptation and mitigation programs. So I think that we need to think in a combined perspective, holistic perspective. We should not lose any opportunity to choose the right track of doing things better.
Oh, thank you very much. No, I totally agree with you in that aspect. It's very clear, and Europe, by example, it's a very, in general, if you look at the evolution of the European cities in the last 30 years, in general, the European cities of Europe, they have come out of a very deep crisis that was on the 80s, with many cities had financial difficulties. Of course, now, after the crisis of 2008, we have some difficulties in general, but if you travel through Europe, you see cities which are in a much better shape than they used to be. But Europe has a stable population. We have reached 70% or 75% of urbanization, and we are not building new towns in Europe because we don't need them. The problem is that by now, where urbanization is growing is in the other part of the world. And in the other part of the world, the principles are totally different. We are used in Europe that a city, it's a low food or low, low food is not a fast food plate. To make a city takes some time. But in the developing world, they can do a city in 2 years. In Europe, never a city has been done in 2 years. Therefore, in Europe, the political imbrication between urbanization and society, it's already, let's say, even in our genes. But in countries that they can build a city in 2 years, this is a technocratic exercise. Somebody does the drawing and they build it. And of course it fails, systematically. Because the business of building a city is different than the business of building buildings. And then the problem that urbanization is facing at global level, it's more related with all these countries. For example, Egypt has 23 new towns in the Nile Delta. A 100 million population, a country that lives in a river. If you look at the night photo of the NASA and you look at Egypt, you see the lights. The light is the river and the delta. Problems of urbanization are huge around the world. 65% of the urban population of sub-Saharan Africa, I repeat, 65% of the urban population of sub-Saharan Africa lives in slums. 65%. Average. Then, there's a huge need of changing the business of building cities. And, and the problem is immediate. And it has strategic consequences in terms of migrations, peace and security, anti-terrorism, many things. The issue of urbanization is changing, especially after the financial crisis of 2008, is, doing cities, following a little bit our assumptions of Europe, it was seen around the world as the business of urbanists, architects, and some business people, with a little bit of the mayor who tries to introduce some orders time to time. But the budget of an African city, the municipal budget of a city that in Africa that I know, nearby where I live, is $6 per person and year. Tell me, with $6 per person per year, the mayor needs to care about health, education, security, because the state is weak, then the mayor spends the money in whatever presses him or her. Then can you imagine how much he or she spends in urban planning? How much? Zero. And then when an investor is seen at the distance, an investor, red carpet, an investor, come, invest. Okay, where is the urban plan? No, don't worry, you do it yourself. Then the streets doesn't link. The streets do not connect. Okay? Because to do a street that connects, it requires an authority. If the authority is not there, why the private real estate businessman needs to care about the connection of the street? He cares or she cares if it's of good humor in that weekend, but it's not his obligation. And so, then I don't, we don't argue, I agree. The problem is that the problem of urbanization is taking a speed that we don't know in Europe. And we need to learn that something happens out of Europe. Life exists outside Europe, okay? And the form of life that exists outside Europe is not necessarily the one that we invented in the Industrial Revolution or in the Roman period. It's different because they try to survive as they can, and they have huge challenges, political challenge. Don't worry about the master plan of Lisbon. You know, I'm not worried about the master plan of Lisbon, especially because you said that you have 27 local detailed plans. Eh? This is why I am not worried, because you have the urban design plans. I would be worried if you only had a master plan. I think that you know, we need to go to the details. El diablo está en los detalles. The devil is, no, how to say in English? El diablo, the devil is in the details. Then we need to go back to 1/500 scale, draw the lines of the street, you know, and do urban design. That is what it's authority, autoritas, professionalism. You know, you said the 5 objectives of Lisbon. Very nice, of course. What you said, green, happy, a lot of new employments. No, this is okay, no problem. This is what it should be done. But the profession of urbanists that you are, you need to do one step forward, you know, in designing the thing. It should work. If the copy is upstairs, it doesn't fall. And that it's another responsibility. And congratulations.
Now we are starting the last closing session. Unfortunately, even the best things have to come to an end. And I'm then very happy to invite our colleagues, José Antunes Ferreira, José Manuel Simões, Sofia Morgado, to give us the few words of farewell. José, if you would like to start.
Yes, we did it. Thank you.
And it is now my pleasure to invite Sofia Morgado to the stage.
I don't think I need to go to that place because I'm going to be very fast as a sandwich member of the Triumviratum, as Tommy Mata put us, our team. So to be very, very quick, I just would like to thank you all. And my last words, just for today, would be that when we put our hearts and minds together, we do achieve great things. And this was a wonderful Congress. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm not going to be so fast. Okay, let me start once more thanking your joining us in Lisbon. And I can say that the numbers announced in the opening session are confirmed. We had 951 badges delivered. 951 badges delivered. We had 834 presentations in 164 parallel sessions. This would not have been possible without a very special group of people that was paramount. Since the early beginning in 2016, when we asked for the presentation text for each track until today, chairing the parallel session, their work has been invaluable. A special thanks to all co-chairs is due. Moreover, we had 4 very interesting keynote speeches. Thank you, Professor Simin, Professor Viegas, Dr. Klaus, and Professor Surumanho Marques. I want to thank to Professor Klaus Kuzman for the exhibition of his magnificent drawings, bringing art a little bit closer to us. Furthermore, we must thank all the Ask Me volunteers over there. In this kind of events, away from the spotlight, there is always a team working hard, whose faces are not very visible. Thank you, Carlos Freitas and Inês Fonseca. To our secretaries in technical, thank you, Rosa, Patricia, and Rosarinha. And to those whose faces are visible, thank you, Natasha and Afonso. To the company helping with the registration management, thank you, Abril team. Thank you also to the municipality of Almada and Lisbon. In addition, a big thank you to the weather. Really, it was a delightful sunset at the beach yesterday. Thank you, weather. Okay, and thank you, weather, because we had free running time for the workshop mobile. And relating with this, a very, very special thank you for those that organized the workshop mobile. Generally, we must also thank to all that before and during the Congress gave us incentive and complimentary words as well as constructive criticism. Thank you to all of you that gives us this word. We cannot forget our dear friend Gerard. The support he gave to us in the launch of this conference. Thanks, Gerard. To the AESOP Exco, we again thank you the trust put into us, and we hope to have met your expectations. Until now, I have been talking in name of all the team. Now, I'm going to speak in my name. To say that this event, with this size, has only been possible because there exists a team that worked very hard. Believe. When I tell you, it has been a pleasure to be part of such a team. Eduarda, from program group with Sofia and João Cabral. They had the big job of designing and executing the program, slots, schedule, etc. Thank you. Isabel, coordinating the Ask Me team and all logistic aspects in técnico. João Cabral, it's including in the team that execute the program. Jorge Silva is the coordinator of, is responsible for the website. Thank you, George. João Cabral is also responsible for the exhibition of Klaus Kuzman. Thank you, João. Miguel Batista Bastos, our expert in mobile workshop, together with José Manuel Simões. Paulo Silva, managing the editorial contacts. The two local chairs, José Manuel and Sofia, that like me, look like me, thanks to this team, had very few to do. It was an absolute pleasure to be a part of this team. Thank you, LOC team. Finally, I wish a fruitful and successful presidency to Ben. Let me call you Ben. And we want to express our sincere votes of the success of the next AESOP Congresses organizers. Thank you for coming to Lisbon and see you in Gothenburg and Venice. Thank you.
This indeed has been a most delightful conference, but it also was a conference with a great motto. You remember? Spaces of dialogue for places of dignity. In his giving away speech yesterday, Francesco was so kind to mention that, unwittingly, I have contributed to choosing human dignity as a topic for this conference. I'm afraid that the many presenters did not think of me as very generous when I asked them, why didn't you speak more about human dignity? So, in a way, I think that with respect to dignity, dialogue, and planning, this conference was just the beginning. Thank you.
Well, at this time, you don't expect long speeches. I will be really very briefly emphasizing one thing. First, the generosity of all this team that was really excellent, I would say. I think in Lisbon, it's not just a question of the quantitative indicators that we had in our Congress. Actually, this was the largest ever Congress. But I think it is important to emphasize that from a quality point of view, in terms of organization, in terms of the level of discussion in all types of sessions that we have, in terms of the quality of keynote speakers, I think this was or has been one of the greatest congresses that we ever have. I'm pretty sure, I have to tell you, that next year and in the following year, we will keep this standard. If not, we will improve it. So I'd like really to ask for a round of applause for all this excellent team that made our lives so interesting, so enjoyable, so fruitful, and so pleasant over these last couple of days. Thank you very much.
We both have just asked for 4 seconds to Anna Geppert because we really had the urge to thank José Antunes Ferreira because he wasn't listed in his own speech. So thank you so much, José, for all this adventure.
This conference will be remembered. I am only for 1 second the voice of all the many colleagues with whom I have been chatting on the stairs, on the benches, by the coffee, and even at the entrance of the presentation rooms. And I have heard only words of appreciation. Only colleagues who were telling me how excellently organized everything was. Only colleagues telling me how fantastically they were helped by the blue t-shirts. Only colleagues who were talking and telling me how scholarly, how quiet, how peaceful, how nice the scholarly atmosphere was, and how this was, in return, helping to sustain the quality of the discussions. And this is also pretty much on a personal note what I have felt, and I'm still amazed, and I think I will leave Lisbon with a new recipe of how you can work so hard with such a large, warm smile on your face. Today that we are 30, we are a little bit becoming like the movie entertainment business. They have Oscars. We have now our insignium, thanks to the works of our Secretary General. And therefore, in the name of AESOP, I will be very happy, Paolo, if you would accept to convey our Oscar, our insignium, to José Antunes Ferreira, of course, for the whole Instituto Superior Técnico. To José Manuel Simões, for Instituto de Geografia e Ordenamento do Território. And last but not least, to Sofia Morgado, for Facultate de Arquitectura. And I would now please like to ask to join us on the stage to Eduarda Marques da Costa, João Cabral, Isabel Lupa Ramos, Jorge Batista e Silva, Paulo Silva, Miguel Batista Bastos, on the side of AESOP, a very, very special, not much visible person, but who has been our permanent link, Joana Bailao. Woo! Come. And the young people with the blue t-shirts, the volunteers. Come.
Is it strong enough?
It is. and to ask you, dear colleagues, to join me in a standing ovation for this beautiful team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bravo! I am now happy to declare that the Congress itself, the 2017 Congress of AESOP in Lisbon, is about to be closed, and that I am now asking Zorica Nedovic-Budic, our conference officer, to be the master of the very short ceremony of sending the flag from Lisbon to
Okay, everyone, hello. With this is our final moment. With gratitude to the university, to the respective units, to the local organizing committee of both PhD and the main Congress, and wonderful volunteers, as well as track co-chairs, and many people behind the scenes who work tirelessly to do this. And I have to add again, from day one to just now, with all the enthusiasm and warmth and smile, regardless of all the hard work and the difficulties or any challenges. I'd like to say that this Congress, in my view, was not only about planning, but with all these wonderful people. They were the face of this great country, wonderful city and people of Portugal and Lisbon. And with that great responsibility that they had for the Congress also comes one item, which is that they were the bearer of the flag for 1 year. And that was the reminder, it's a symbol of AESOP and a reminder of the important work they were doing, and we were the beneficiaries, the AESOP community, of all that work. Now our flag likes to travel, and actually it has accumulated about 50,000 kilometers. We wanted to apply for frequent flyer, but they wouldn't accept that. So it has to be put in luggage as a hidden passenger. And it's time to pass that passenger to our host of the next Congress, the colleagues from Sweden, around Sweden, actually 4 universities. And I would like to ask colleagues, Professor Maria Håkansson and Christer Olsson, to accept the flag from the chair of the local organizing committee of Lisbon Conference. So we will see you all in Gothenburg to make sure that the flag is there and it's not lost. See you there.
I just would like to take the opportunity to have a short speech. And especially I would like to thank all the organizers here in Lisbon. I truly agree with everybody that's saying this has been a great conference. It really has. And it has also, of course, then been very inspirational for us when we are now doing our work to try to do it as good as you have. So thank you, and very welcome to Gothenburg next year. Thank you.
And now I declare this conference closed. Enjoy Lisbon. Have safe flights. Take care. And see you at latest in Gothenburg.